I will set up a tenant policy for a few different factors. One, the auto policy tends to be cheaper set up with the tenant policy. So both policies put together, more likely than not, depending on where the person is, will be the same price as just the one policy. Or the net of the two of those together might be $75 more than the one single policy. So you might as well get both. And then while that child is still living at home, if something happens to their stuff, there's their own separate limit with a lower deductible than their parents' homeowners policy. They have their own liability coverage. They have coverage for all of the stuff that they just brought home from college that they furnished an apartment or a dorm room, that some of it may be in a storage unit. And so that tenant policy will cover stuff in a storage unit as well as stuff in the house. They'll have their own coverage for the computer that gets stolen on the train while they're commuting somewhere, or they have coverage, they have their own identity fraud and their own cyber coverage. So they have all of their own coverage, even though they're living in your house. You don't have to use your homeowner's policy for something that happened to their stuff. If your stuff is stolen out of your car, if stuff is stolen out of your apartment, your tenant policy will cover that. If you're traveling, so that contents limit on that tenant policy covers you worldwide. So if you are traveling and someone steals your baggage while you're in another country, while you are in the airport, your tenant policy will cover the stuff that was stolen. If you have something that's stolen out of your car, your tenant policy will cover all of that. It will be subject to the deductible that's on your policy, but if it's enough stuff that you want to put in a claim, then it's something that you do have coverage for. The thing that I will say to somebody that is renting an apartment is, the unit above you has a pipe burst and the water damages everything in your bedroom, your entire wardrobe, your computer, your bedding, everything. Do you have the money in your bank account to replace your entire wardrobe, your TV, your computer, everything that's in your bedroom? God forbid there's a fire, everything is smoke damaged, everything is completely burnt up and gone. Do you have the money to replace all of that? And I personally don't.